Hello guys, in this video I show you a fast generic guide for Arcane. First of all, she's my waifu. Arcane is the first operator who have two skill sets based on her stats. She can be either support or DPS depending on the build. When using supportive skills, she's a strong unit who can add existing infliction to enemies on field, greatly increasing infliction applying efficiency. Besides, she will provide cryo and natural susceptibility, making her top tier for cryo and natural teams. While using DPS-wise skill set, she's very easy to use and have a higher damage multiplier for all skills compared to support one. With a short combo cooldown, which refund skill points, her main job with this build is deal massive damage, while affecting enemies with very long duration corrosion debuff, and insanely high ultimate multiplier up to 1440%. Support Arcane is the missing piece for top tier arts team, while DPS Arcane is very beginner friendly due to her simplicity and it doesn't require you to have other limited operators. Let's take a look into her skill set to have a better idea. First, the talent will change her skill sets based on her statistics. When her intellect is greater or equal to will, she will enter Array Arcana Intellect. Elsa will enter Array Arcana Will. And then Ultimate Gloom Purge is improved. Under Arcana Int, during Ultimate, Arcane gains some Arts Amp, while under Arcana Will, when Sequence 1 and Sequence 2 of the Ultimate deals damage to enemies, she also applies Natural and Cryo susceptibility to enemies. Attribute requirement to change Array Arcana is only based on her raw stats provided by her own level, talents, potentials, weapon and gears. Her second talent will make corrosion applied by Arcana last longer, and the debuff effect is stronger than normal corrosion. The battle skill will create a grid dealing natural damage and applying natural infliction to enemies in AoE. Arcana Intellect will deal more damage. Arcana Will pull enemies in a small AoE. The combo skill have different trigger conditions. For Array Arcana Intellect, it triggers when natural infliction or at least 2 stacks of non-natural inflictions are applied to enemies. Arcane then applies natural and cryo susceptibility to enemies while dealing natural damage in a small AoE. It will also apply imprisonment, which slows down. When the debuff ends, it will trigger an explosion damage. Hitting enemy under imprisonment with battle skill can return some skill points, ends imprisonment early and applies another instance of natural and cryo susceptibility while dealing multiple hits of bonus damage after short delay. In int form, the combo skill cooldown is shorter and have higher damage multiplier for second sequence. While in Array Arcana Will form, the trigger condition is when an arts infliction is applied on an enemy, she will then deal natural damage and apply another stack of arts infliction of the same element, and applies a stronger natural and cryo susceptibility on enemies, scaling with her will. In the end, it will also apply imprisonment. When imprisonment ends, it deals explosion damage as well. When applying imprisonment, it will also slightly pull nearby enemies. The ultimate will create a giant array that deals natural damage in a big AoE, and when hitting enemies within this array with a finisher or final strike performed by the control operator, the array will unleash a cluster strike dealing AoE damage. This effect can trigger up to 2 times. Once you trigger this effect 2 times, you can trigger a special ultimate that deals natural damage to enemies in an AoE. Under Arcana Intellect form, casting the ultimate, you will also forcibly apply corrosion to all enemies in an AoE, and the second sequence of ultimate will have a huge multiplier up to 1440%. While in Arcana Will form, when casted the ultimate, it will apply another Arts Infliction stack of the same element to enemies with the Arts Infliction in the AoE. Pulling recommendation is a must pull for different reasons. First ever character with double skill sets who can cover DPS and support role. As a support, she can fit into any arts team. As DPS stance, she can solo carry just as effectively like other top tier main DPS. So for veteran players, she's very flexible for your arts squad, while for new players, she's great for early game progression and can easily solo carry the team. An absolutely must pull. Weapon recommendation. In this new 1.4 version, the 2 new arts unit weapon fits her. Signature weapon Type 42 Solemn Phalanx, and the new battle skill weapon Junction Point. They mainly differ in raw damage numbers, but the signature weapon is still the best, so if you can get it, it will be the best option. If you don't have these options, Oblivion is a good option for DPS Arcane. Detonation unit is good for support Arcane. Anyways, comparing the 2 new weapons, based on theoretical calculation and practical testing, Max Pot Battle Pass weapon performs approximately 90% compared to her signature weapon, while with Pot 0 Battle Pass weapon it performs around 80 to 85% compared to the signature weapon. Gears recommendation. She will have 2 different sets of gears based on her role. DPS Arcana will go with the new Hot Work set, with Hot Work Exorig, new Hot Work Hands PPE, and a new Hot Work Insulation Slab. Intellect will bonus matches her needs perfectly, and since DPS Arcana can apply corrosion on enemies almost 100% seamlessly, it matches the set effect perfectly. In the end, it is recommended to swap one kit for Link's Slab. While going for support Arcane, go with the new Eternal Xehanort set, with the new Eternal Xehanort Light Armor T1, Eternal Xehanort Wraps, and the 2 Eternal Xehanort Bracing Slab. The statistics will match her needs to stay in support form. The set bonuses matches her perfectly as well, since she applies a susceptibility very often with her combo skill and ultimate. Team compositions. She's gonna have a different team based on how you play her. So let me show you both ways to build a squad for her. For DPS Arcane, the team building logic is to have Arcane, and then a non-nature arts inflictor, while the last 2 slots are flexible. Just go for 2 supporters who can buff her. The core mechanic of DPS Arcane plays around maintaining the long-time corrosion coverage to maximize the buffs, and frequently hitting enemies imprisoned by her combo skill using her battle skill to trigger high multiplier damage. That's why a non-nature arts inflictor is required to trigger corrosion. As for the last 2 slots, just like I said earlier, is very flexible, but the main choice comes between those 5. Ardelia as a universal sustain character, Gilberta who provides a high level susceptibility using ultimate and extra natural infliction without consuming skill points using ultimate. Lino who is not out yet, but from official livestream we know she can provide sustain, attack buff and natural buffs, so is potentially a very good teammate for DPS Arcane. Xaihi who is very good as she provides a natural amp and can help applying cryo inflictions. Akikuri as a skill points recovery and a small buffer using the ultimate. The best squad will be this one: Arcane, Tantan, Xaihi and Akikuri as a skill points recovery. Or maybe Gilberta if you want more damage than skill points recovery. In this squad, pairing Tantan and Xaihi can easily trigger permanent level 2 corrosion loop. Another easy free-to-play squad is this one: Arcane, Ulfgard, Akikuri and Xaihi, or another buffer. Support Arcane. There is not much to talk about a support Arcane, as she fits perfectly in all cryo and nature squads. She performs very well in other arts squads as well, and the team building logic is this one: an arts striker plus a corresponding element arts inflictor. For example, Levatain plus Akikuri or Camille or Ulfgard, Yvonne plus Tantan, Fang Yi plus Perlica, etc, etc. Third slot is Arcane, and the last slot is flexible between Sustain and another support. Support Arcane main job is to replicate and spread the proactive infliction. The logic is very simple, as her only job is to support your main operator by ending one said infliction and applying debuffs to enemies. Best squad is this one, so Yvonne plus Tantan plus Arcane plus Gilberta. This is a squad with Yvonne who can simultaneously consume both nature and cryo infliction, perfectly matching with the support Arcane, making this the strongest cryo team. Or you can do Fang Yi plus Perlica plus Arcane plus Arknights or Sustain. Anyways, the squad building logic is simple with the support Arcane, like I mentioned earlier on how to build a squad. Let's take a look into rotations for different squads, starting with the DPS Arcane with her best squad. The basic rotation is very simple. First of all, apply 2 stacks of non-natural arts inflictions, so in this case Tantan and Xaihi. So Xaihi can at the same time provide some buff using her skills, but it may take some time as you need to do few times the final strike. When enemy has 2 stacks of non-natural inflictions, trigger Arcane combo skill to apply imprisonment on enemy, then use Arcane battle skill to hit the imprisoned enemy to trigger high multiplier damage effect. When having the ultimate, you can immediately use it to apply corrosion effect to reduce enemy's resistance. Then perform at the same time 2 final strikes. Consume the area attacks and Xaihi skill. Apply another stack of cryo infliction with Tantan. Now use Arcane's combo skill. Use battle skill to apply level 2 corrosion and deal high damage. At this point, every support's ultimate to buff Arcane, and finish with Arcane's special ultimate to deal tons of damage. While the showcase using the free-to-play squad is this one. In this squad the logic is the same, using Akikuri and Ulfgard to easily apply 2 stacks of hit inflictions with just 1 skill point, then just Arcane's combo skill and then battle skill to apply level 2 corrosion and deals high damage. Repeat this process to deal constant rotation damage. When have the ultimate, just use the ultimate first to apply corrosion and start to reduce enemy's resistance. Akikuri and Ulfgard for double inflictions, then Arcane combo skill plus battle skill for higher level corrosion. Buff using Xaihi or supporter in case you're not using her, and melt the enemy with Arcane powerful special ultimate. While there are not much rotation to talk about for support Arcane, as you just activate her combo skill after applying an infliction to add another infliction to it, or using the ultimate to do the same effect, and then the striker to consume them, dealing damage. There is a very good rotation for Yvonne Arcane squad. This can also help you a lot in your daily exploration and farming. Just start with Arcane Battle skill, then her combo skill. Use now Yvonne's Battle skill to consume natural infliction and to find a striker to trigger now Yvonne's combo skill. That's it. Very simple and quick rotation to deal high AoE damage. Well, that's it guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!